was announced in international markets. Manisha Gupta is here with the very latest. Manisha, gold at 1300 is nothing surprising. We've been talking about it all of last week, but where from here is the big question.
Well, the way the markets are right now, it does look, Tanya, that we might see some more gains happen in case of gold prices. You know, you have to look at the other commodities. The crude prices are at a 2-week highs. Almost all the base metals have made fresh 5-month highs. So there is this inflation concerns also coming in because most of the commodities and raw materials are on the higher side. Apart from that, if you look at the dollar index, that one is trading at a 6-month low versus the major basket of currencies. That also is supportive. The Fed has said that they would continue easing monetary policies, and that again is supportive because the interest rates in major economies are still on the lower side. The financial concerns in the markets, of course, again are supportive. 1300 already done. Markets nearly are awaiting 1315 and 1350 on the higher side in the near term. In the Indian markets, of course, we are not looking at record highs because the rupee is at a 4.5-month highs, just nudging around 45 now, and the calculations because of that have been on the lower side. So while there are record highs in the international markets, the Indian markets really haven't been able to take those kind of returns.
Manisha, many thanks for that. The Kuwaiti government is interested in buying a strategic stake in Indian Oil. It all depends, of course, on how economically viable it is. Let's listen to the Kuwaiti Oil Minister, Sheikh Ahmed Al Abdullah.
If possible, look into long-term commitment agreement. I came to know also during our lunch that the government will divest some of its shares, and maybe it will be offering certain percentage to a strategic investor. And we are very interested in such proposal. Of course, it's subject to feasibility studies and the economics of such offer. We discussed the long-term requirement for crude oil because with Paradip coming, crude oil requirement will go up, plus how we can help each other, especially in the area of R&D activities, in the area of training and consultancy.
Meanwhile, it's ONGC versus the Ruiyas. SR's owners have sued India's largest oil producer in the Delhi High Court over a rigged tender floated by ONGC. Let's go straight to Ruchita Saxena then, who's joining us for the very latest. Where is this case going? Tell us, Ruchita.
Yes, in the case that was filed by SR Oilfield Services actually against ONGC, the Delhi High Court has stayed the tender by ONGC for a semi-submersible rig. Now, this rig, the day rates for such a rig can go up to as high as $250,000 per day. And this is a huge tender which ONGC had invited from December, for the use of the rig from December to up to 3 years. And for this, both SR and Transocean had submitted nearly same amount for the bid. And after the evaluations that ONGC conducted, it found that the difference between the two bids was a marginal $170 per day, where SR was the lowest bidder. But Transocean had raised objections regarding how the bid was evaluated, and that is why ONGC had to scrap the tender and it went for retendering. And that is when SR Oilfield Services actually went to the court, and after that it has got a stay for this particular tender. But now the hearing is expected to be to happen on October of 19th, where we'll see the next stage of this corporate battle unfolding.
Okay, Ruchita, thanks so much for that. Ruchita Saxena in our newsroom. We've got to hit a commercial break, but lots more coming up soon.
Advertising agency, a friend of my mother's told her a while ago that Advertising World is going to launch a complaint against Good Earth, because if you guys continue like this, where you've built a brand and a brand equity where people really like you and know you, without a single ad, we are out of business.
Catch Good Earth Simran Lal on Leap of Faith, only on ET Now.
Presented by Bajaj Hindustan Limited, India's #1 sugar and ethanol manufacturer.
Before you realize, your loved ones will grow. What about your money? For incredible investment opportunities, talk to SMC. MoneyWise, be wise.
वक्त आ गया है मिलके दुनिया को बदलने का।
Nerolac पेश करते हैं हेल्दी होम पेंट्स। Nerolac, कुछ चेंज करें, चलो पेंट करें।
Have you ever looked after someone and sent a bill for it? Have you ever charged anyone for being a friend? Relationships rise above money. That's why IDBI Bank is saying no charges on savings and current account services. IDBI Bank, because you mean more than your money.
After almost 2 years into the biggest corporate fraud in Indian history, Mahindra Satyam prepares for a new beginning as it announces its restated accounts. What are the implications for all its stakeholders? What are the sentiments of its clients and its competitors? We put the pieces together on Satyam Rebuilds, an ET Now special all through the day on the 29th of September.
Join us right here on Business Day. Now, power is a sector that Mukesh Ambani wanted to be a very strong player in, but RIL's plans, it seems, to diversify its businesses might have hit a bit of a roadblock as its expected bid for a very big power project in Chhattisgarh is caught between the Environment Ministry and the Power Ministry. Things a little bit stuck, but just how stuck? Let's ask Suchetna Ray. Suchetna.
Tanya, it seems that the first casualty of the logjam between Green Minister Jairam Ramesh and the Power Ministry has been this 4,000 megawatt power plant, which is called the Ultra Mega Power Project in Sarguja. We'll be picking up from our sources in the Power Ministry is that the Power Ministry has actually started scouting for a shift of location from Sarguja to a different location in Chhattisgarh. But this change of location definitely will change the entire dynamics of the power project, because while most of the private power players were interested in Sarguja was because of its proximity to the coal blocks allotted to it. But a change in location, of course, will change all that, and also it will factor in an incremental increase in cost. What we're picking up from our sources is that RIL, NTPC, Jindal Power, Sterlite as well as SR Power have all reportedly shown interest in this power plant.
Suchetna, many thanks for that to pharmaceuticals, and Glenn Saldana is restructuring his research and development plans, shifting focus from highly lucrative diabetes medication to pain management. For more on that, let's chat with Vishank Chandravarkar. Vishank, why exit what's really a lucrative part of the pharmaceutical business to pain management and then exclusive just on pain?
Good evening, Siddharth. Well, it's another setback for Glenmark Pharmaceuticals. Why move on to diabetes? Well, Glenn Saldana says very clearly that his star drug entity, which is Melogliptin, will not go phase 3 trials globally because of the rising costs and because of the risks, many risks attached to it. So Glenn Saldana really telling his shareholders that unless he finds a global partner who can share those costs and risks with him, he will not take it global. Now, he does tell us that he has a different strategy for it, which is to introduce the drug entity in India, finish the phase 3 trials in India, and then look at global markets. Now, what this essentially means is that he's kind of sidelining a global opportunity of $3 billion and looking at a market of $1 billion. Now, why pain management? Well, it really makes sense for them to go into pain and to focus completely on pain and respiratory pipeline, because that's where their expertise lies in. Now, this exact move and his telling us that they're going to reduce investments in diabetes is very nicely summed up by Glenn Saldana himself.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of pain and a lot of money riding on it, Vishank. Many thanks for those details. Car sales, meanwhile, in India might be rising, but sales in Europe and North America, they're falling. The new batch of numbers seem to suggest that Fiat took the biggest hit as the Italian government implements a raft of social spending and salary cuts.
Car sales in Europe and North America fell for the 5th month running in August. During the economic crisis, European governments introduced incentives to boost the auto industry. But with new austerity measures, social spending cuts and wage freezes, consumer demand in Europe has plummeted. Italian-based auto company Fiat took the biggest hit, with sales dropping 24% this year. European car companies are now pushing to get into the Indian market.
We're not expecting Europe to grow at any great rate of knots. This is expected to be a fairly stagnant area. So, for a company to become competitive and remain competitive, it needs to be present certainly in India, certainly in China, more likely both.
European car makers are pinning hopes of a revival on India's market, which is booming, with car sales across the country at an all-time high. Last month, vehicle purchases zoomed to 33%, leaving automakers struggling to meet consumer demands. More disposable income and lower borrowing costs are responsible for the record sales.
In 2010, we expect it to make around 3.2 million vehicles. In 2009, they made 2.4 million vehicles. And to give you an idea of the growth and the investment that's going in, we fully expect within 5 years that will double. They'll be reaching just over 5 million vehicles in the region.
Both Suzuki and Ford unveiled at least 10 new designs in the country, which spurred further interest in the market.
India has shown itself to be resilient in the economic downturn. Its car industry is booming, while Europe and America are still struggling. Analysts say European markets will recover, but they won't be able to replicate India's success. Reuters correspondent Anna Bevan in London for ET Now.
Okay, with that, we wrap it up here on Business Day.
Up next, Shivani Muthanna with Business Day. Thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye.
After almost 2 years into the biggest corporate fraud in Indian history, Mahindra Satyam prepares for a new beginning as it announces its restated accounts. What are the implications for all its stakeholders? What are the sentiments of its clients and its competitors? We put the pieces together on Satyam Reboots, an ET Now special all through the day on the 29th of September.
When it comes to rising entrepreneurial talent, India means business. ET Now presents India Mart Leaders of Tomorrow, awards that celebrate excellence in entrepreneurship. Send us your entries showcasing your accomplishments in business and stand a chance of getting featured on ET Now. ET Now presents India Mart Leaders of Tomorrow Awards. Log on to leaders.economictimes.com to register your company for the awards. Only on ET Now. Brought to you by India Mart.
इंडिया जहाँ जाने वाला एक और छोड़ने वाले अनेक, इसलिए लोगन स्पेस नो प्रॉब्लम. Logan loves India.
Ashoka Buildcon Limited, a company that builds roads and bridges, now enters the capital market with a public issue of equity shares of 10 rupees each for cash at a premium, aggregating up to 2,250 million rupees. The 100% book built issue is being offered in a price band of 297 to 324 rupees per share. Issue opens 24th September, closes 28 September 2010. For risk factors and more details, refer to the Red Herring Prospectus, available on the websites of the BRLM, SCO BRLM and Registrar to the issue.
Two brothers who were on the Forbes Global Rich List, fighting hammer and tongs. You can't get a better story than that. Absolutely compelling subject, and I don't think any journalist or business writer could walk away from that one.
Catch Hamish McDonald in an exclusive conversation on ET Interview only on ET Now.
Monday to Friday, the market swings both ways. It's time to change the ways to invest.
ET Now presents Your Trades the Week Ahead.
A zesty new show that helps you spice up your portfolio.
With all our new recipes for success.
Market fundamentals, chopped, skinned and well done.
So, put your money where your mouth is.
Book your weekend slots with ET Now and taste the spirit of success.
मार्केट में तो गर्मी भाई.
राइट टाइम क्या है?
राइट टाइम मॉर्निंग 8 to 11 एंड राइट प्लेस ET Now. ए रमणी.
To make the most out of the stock market,
his extraordinary foresight transformed the rules of business. Imagining a changing India, he sought new wings of desire in the public domain.
There's a lot of untapped idealism and desire to give back among Indians of all ages.
Entrepreneur, idealist, author, social commentator, policymaker, change agent.
I think there'll be many such opportunities for me to participate in the change, and if I'm given an opportunity to do that, I'll keep doing that.
The change leaders are on ET Now.